Carrying the vast majority of household management creates a relentless pressure that slowly fractures the foundation of a relationship. Most of us are familiar with the visible work: washing the dinner dishes, folding the mountain of laundry, or making sure the kids actually eat their vegetables. But behind those physical acts lies a hidden layer of cognitive management. Someone has to notice the dish soap is running low, cross-reference the family calendar to schedule a pediatrician, and plan a leak of meals before the cooking even starts. This hidden layer is the primary source of friction. Couples fighting over a messy kitchen are actually clashing over the exhaustion of noticing the mess, and then having to prompt an adult partner to act. Downloading another digital checklist cannot resolve this tension, because standard to-do apps only track the final physical execution. They completely ignore the cognitive exhaustion of managing the list itself. FairShare is an iOS app designed to surface and redistribute that invisible cognitive load using the Fair Play framework. This presents a difficult choice for anyone facing household burnout. We have to determine if a $5 piece of software can correct years of behavioral habits, or if it merely provides a structured place to log grievances. Unlike a standard to-do list, FairShare functions as a rigid household project management and intervention system. It provides the data and visibility needed to achieve fairness, but the software's success relies entirely on mutual buy-in, rather than automation. To use FairShare, you must abandon standard task lists. Instead, the app requires assigning complete ownership cards to a single partner. First is conceive, taking total responsibility for noticing a need. Next is plan. The owner figures out logistics without leaning on their partner. Finally, they execute the physical work. Together, these three nodes form a full ownership card. This model eliminates the "just tell me what to do" dynamic. It prevents a partner from hanging back as a reactive executor who only acts when prompted. However, this requires a significant trade-off. Mapping an entire household into these cards involves a steep learning curve and hours of upfront administrative work. The CPE system creates true accountability, but it demands a high initial time investment before the overburdened partner feels any relief. We all know the stress of remembering a random task, immediately texting a partner to delegate it, interrupting their workday, and creating instant friction. FairShare's Brain Dump Interceptor is the mechanical solution designed to break this interruption cycle. You log a random thought into the app, and an AI router suggests which partner's existing ownership card it belongs to. This allows household needs to be captured instantly and routed to the right person without the interrupt and delegate dynamic that causes resentment. The system's main weakness is its reliance on human behavior. It breaks down immediately if the receiving partner lacks the discipline to actually check and accept the app's notifications. The brain dump feature automates the digital routing of mental load, but it remains vulnerable to a partner's real-world tendency to ignore alerts. To maintain the system, the app requires a structured 15-minute weekly check-in meeting. Using specific prompts, couples review workload shifts and renegotiate expectations without waiting for a crisis to occur. This chart is the visualizer. It provides an objective, percentage-based breakdown of who truly owns the household load. The intent is to replace highly emotional, resentment-fueled arguments with objective, data-driven renegotiations. But high-fidelity visibility carries a psychological risk. Presenting stark inequality data to a defensive partner who hasn't bought into the process will likely trigger conflict rather than collaboration. Data can ground a conversation, but it cannot mediate the fallout if a partner outright rejects the math. FairShare is an exceptionally well-designed interface for a necessary but deeply difficult relationship conversation. Whether the app succeeds depends on two factors: your partner's buy-in and your mutual desire for structure. In the bottom left is the resentment zone. This includes couples lacking mutual buy-in regarding mental load, or users who only want a basic shared grocery list. Using FairShare unilaterally to prove a point to a resistant partner only increases resentment and guarantees failure. The ideal demographic is in the top right success zone. These couples agree an imbalance exists and actively want a rigid framework to fix it. These users succeed because they are willing to trade 15 minutes of weekly administrative friction for long-term household peace. FairShare cannot do the dishes or force a partner to care, but for a willing couple, it finally makes the invisible work visible enough to conquer together.